everyone, it's Jean from the Inky Owl Studio. I'm so happy that you stopped by for a few minutes today. Today I'm going to be working on another candidate for your sample notebook project, which Dee Dee Fargo is putting on a challenge which she calls 2021 TCTC. And the letters stand for the Colossal Tome of Concepts. And what she is suggesting we all do is to collect a whole bunch of ideas of making ephemera, envelopes, pockets, tags, whatever, and collecting samples of them in a large notebook so that we can go back and get ideas. Because, we all learn things, and it just seems like over time we kind of forget what we learned about. And so we have participants who are making contributions to put into your big tome. And if you put in hashtag 2021 TCTC into the YouTube search, you will find other people who are contributing to this challenge. And I will link Dee Dee Farrago's YouTube page down below, and you can check out all the ones that she's done. And so anyways, I just wanted to explain that because I know I do get questions as to what that stands for, and that's what it is. So today I'm going to have us work on this cute little floating pocket, I guess you could call, and inside is this little note page, a little booklet with some note paper on it that sticks inside here. And it's just one page, one 8.5 by 11 piece of paper. And let's go through and make this. Now, this pattern was inspired by Wendy at Wendy's Journal Adventure. And I am just doing it a little differently than she did. I'm adjusting the fold a little differently. But it is inspired by her video, which she put out, I believe this week she put it out, and I'll link her down below as well. And so we start out with a piece of paper. Now I have here coffee stain paper, and I do use a 28-pound paper to coffee stain. Regular copy paper is 22 pounds average, and it might be a little, okay, you probably could still use it, but you might have to put in a smaller notepad. I just know that the little heavier paper just, I think, will stand up better over time. And also, you could also use double-sided scrapbook paper for this. I mean, it'd be perfect for that kind of a project. Anyway, so the first thing you'd fold is you do it the hot dog way. And I used to do crafts with my daughter. There was the hot dog and the hamburger fold. And the hot dog fold looks like a hot dog bun. So we're going to fold it over, but we're going to be shy about 1/4 of an inch. We're going to leave that 1/4 of an inch gap right there. So this is just a little shorter. And that's nice. Then we do the hamburger fold, which is this way. And we're going to leave about 2.5 inches. About 2.5 inches there. Approximately. There we go. And we're just going to make sure it's all folded very well so we can see the creases, and hopefully you can see this. Now you're going to have four squares, and on one side the squares are going to be bigger than on the other side. So the biggest one here is this one, because if you remember, we folded but we left it longer. And so this is the largest one, and that's the one you want to focus on. So you'll want to cut right along this line all the way to the middle fold. So we're just going to take our little scissors and come down here like so. All right, and then once you get to the fold, and this is where my folds are going to differ from what Wendy did. And that is, we're going to cut down like 1 inch right here, right along this seam. It doesn't have to be an exact amount, but you just eye it up to about 1 inch. So we have it cut to the middle, and then we have it go down the middle about 1 inch. So we're going to take that piece and we're going to fold it over down like so. Alrighty, just like that. And I'm going to miter the edges. It's always kind of nice to get rid of both if you can. And I'm just going to miter them out there. There we go. So we've got that going there. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to flip this over, turn it over again, and now I'm going to fold right along that edge. It's just an easy way to make sure that that fold matches up with that side there, so that when we put this over, we can glue it and it's like a perfect match because we folded along that edge. All right, so we got this so far. So this is going to become a pocket. Now I had you fold down this part, cut out and fold this down because it really reinforces that. I'm sorry, I'm in a new situation here, setup, and I can't see. All right, so we're going to have that reinforced that things can go in and out and not be worn over time. Now, so this is going to be like the front of your tag. So we're going to turn it to the back and we're going to go to the bottom because it's still open down here. We're going to fold this up about a 1/2 inch. All right, I should have my bone folder. I guess I'm using my finger now. Then once you've got that 1/2 inch done, you need to cut out this section here because this flap is going to hide that seam. So let's just cut out this part here. So you're kind of working at the back. It would have been better had I gotten two-sided printed paper because you could have probably made better sense. But anyhow, we're going to cut that out. We're going to go ahead and miter those edges again. And I sometimes like to cut out that little thing that pops up there. There we go. And so that is going to get glued up there so it looks, that's a nice envelope looking seal to it. All right, so now the bottom will be sealed, the side will be sealed. Now at this point, you have some options with this part here. And the first one is you can go ahead and fold this over, 1/4 inch like you did the bottom. All right, just go ahead and fold that over and you can create a pocket either up this way and seal this part, or you can create a pocket, it's going to be like a tuck up space this way. So you can do that. All right. Another option you could do would be to cut down right here on this seam, probably 1.5 inches or whatever. And then once that's cut, you can fold this over. And then when you go over, there'll be a pocket here. So that is another option you can do. You can play around with this as much as, you think so. But do keep in mind that if you're using just regular paper, every time you use just one layer at a time, it becomes a little weaker. But it's still, it still is fine. If you're just using tags and journaling cards, there'd be no problem. It's just that when we start putting a little bit more weight with our little pad, you might want to take care about that. So, but what I'm going to do is what I did with this one, and that is I basically just glued it together. All right, that's just kind of what I'm doing because what I'm putting on here, I'm putting quite a bit of ephemera on top of the flap, and I wanted some, kind of a strong background to use, so you have to keep in mind how much ephemera you're going to put. I'm using cheesecloth, and this is a botanical print on a cloth, muslin cloth with a background. And so I am putting, a good amount on here. And that's why I'm going to go ahead and glue this like that. So Lord, pretend we didn't do the fold. We are just going to glue it all together. All right, so let me first of all glue up the side here like this and glue this down. I should probably do this first. There we go. We're just going to glue it, that little flat down inside there. So this is glued down. Probably could have cut that bulk out, but I didn't. I am going to, however, miter those little corners because I'm being a little picky right now. You probably don't have to do this. I'm just being picky. And we'll just put this over and glue up the side. How nice. And if you wanted to, you could put a thumb notch in there because it's doubled. So it should be nice and heavy for you. And we'll just close up the bottom. Close up the diaper. Yeah, got my grandson on my mind, I think. All right, so there we go. And I'm just going to come in here and I'm going to glue all the way around because what I want to do, I think, as far as decorating, is I want to do the same kind of decoration as I did with the last one. And I'll just fold this over like so. And then finish cutting off that part you didn't use. Right, like that. So there you go. There's the base of it done. Okay, there's the base. Now let's make the little notepad that goes on the inside. So I took a piece of cardstock, and I believe that this piece is like 5.5 by 3.5. And you know, I just happen to have a scrap, so that's what this turned out to be. But the key is, you know, you want to be able to slip it in, and you also want it, you don't want it to go too much higher than your fold up here. So that's kind of the rule of thumb that I used, you know, to create this little cardstock piece. Then I took an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, and I cut it. What did I do here? Now these aren't, you don't have to do this measurement, of course. You can do whatever works for you, but these are 3.25 inches wide, and of course 8.5 that way. I just cut 3 sections out of that 8.5 by 11 piece of paper, and then I folded it in half, and then I'm just going to tear, because I kind of like that, you know, a little bit of a worn look there. I'm just going to tear that together. So here is my paper to write on. So now I'm going to fold this down on top about, not quite an inch, maybe 3/4 of an inch is about where I'm at on that, about 3/4 of an inch. I am going to go ahead and fold that down and put this underneath like so. Okay, just like that. And then the only thing you have to be careful of, and let me show you what it is that you just have to watch out for when you put your staples in, is that this is only going to go slide into this pocket as far as your staple is at. So it's going to stick up. So it's going to stick up out of the pocket from where your staple is to the top. Just want to make sure that this fold doesn't go past the bend of your top. That's the only thing. And really and truly, because this is a whole inch, if you just make sure that your staple are about 1/2 inch from the top, about 1/2 inch from there, thereabouts, you know, you should be fine. There shouldn't be any kind of real issue with that. So I'm just going to put these in here like that. Okay, and then you can cover it up like I did in the other one. Leave it the way it is, do whatever you want, and there you go. And this slips right in like that. And then you've got this little fold. Now the paper, I kind of like it sticking down there a little bit. But you can bring the paper all the way down if you don't want to decorate this piece down here. You can make it so that it's all on the inside and you can't see it at all. So that's just something that you can play around with the way you like. And so eventually then I'm going to decorate it and it's going to look like this. Yay! So this is a little, and I'm having a hard time knowing what to call this. And by the time I list this video, I probably will come up with some kind of a name. But that's what that is. And it can be put into your journal either with like a paper clip and clip to a page, or it can actually fold over. Let's say I don't have a journal page in front of me, but let's just pretend this is a journal page. It can actually fold over the journal page like this with a clip. And how pretty is that? A little pretty little decoration. And then you could decorate the back side, you know, the way you want to do it. And then you have this little thing there. So it could go in this way. I probably personally would put it in this way. Or I would glue it in, and then if you glued it in, you could have this as a pocket there as well. So you can work with that the way you like. So thank you so much for visiting. I want to remind you that I am going to have my botanical prints sewn onto cardstock in my shop. And also I'm going to, these tags that we made in the last video, I am going to put these for sale as well. So there will be a group of 3 of these tags that have the cloth botanicals on them and mounted on these little vintage shabby chic type of tags. So thanks a lot for viewing, and I hope you have a great crafty day. We'll talk to you later. Bye.